Our next stop was Hue, a historic city in central Vietnam which lies along the Perfume River. As soon as we got to the train station in Da Nang, we saw a notice: rock slide, tracks blocked. This train route is supposed to be one of the most scenic in the country. Instead, about an hour later, we found ourselves on a bus heading part of the way up the coast to reconnect with the train. Not exactly how we pictured it, and unfortunately we missed the most scenic stretch of the ride, but that's travel. Sometimes you just roll with it and see where the day takes you. Once we made it on the train, we wound our way through the beautiful, lush, mist-covered mountains towards the city. Our hotel was apartment style, centrally located, and with a separate kitchen and a washing machine. The bedroom space was large, the bathroom was functional, and the balcony had a beautiful view overlooking the city. We set off to explore this cute, lively city and made our way to Madame Tu for dinner. Here we had our first taste of bun cha hue. It's a rich, flavorful noodle soup with a slightly spicy broth, thick noodles, and a mix of meats, usually pork or beef. We headed down to the river where we spotted the colorful dragon boats, checked out the floating restaurant, watched the bridge shift through changing colored lights, and took a stroll through the park. Troy found a very popular little spot to stop for ice cream, and it did not disappoint. It was served in a split open coconut with fresh coconut shavings mixed right in. Simple, refreshing, and so good. The next day, I headed out for some solo sightseeing at the Imperial City as Troy was feeling under the weather. Hue was once the imperial capital of Vietnam, and you can really feel that history as you walk through the massive citadel and palace grounds. I'm here at the Imperial City in Hue, and unfortunately Troy is not feeling well today, so he is resting up at home, hopefully feeling better for our next couple days of adventure. I bought the combo ticket, so you get to see this site and two of the tombs, which are away from this site, and it was about $17 US. So let's go. Hue served as the imperial capital of Vietnam during the Huynh dynasty from the early 1800s through the mid-1900s and was the political and cultural center of the country during that time. The complex itself is massive, surrounded by thick stone walls and a wide moat, and modeled in part after Beijing's Forbidden City. As you enter through the main gate, you step into a series of courtyards, temples, and palaces that just keep going, each one revealing a little more about how the emperors lived and ruled. There's a real sense of symmetry and intention in the layout, with long pathways, ceremonial spaces, and beautifully detailed buildings decorated with intricate carvings, lacquered wood, and colorful mosaic work. Some areas have been carefully restored, while others still show the effects of time and war, which honestly adds another layer to the experience. Walking through, you pass throne halls where important ceremonies once took place, quieter residential areas where the royal family lived, and peaceful gardens that feel a world away from the busy streets outside. One of the standout details is the series of massive bronze urns, each one intricately cast and symbolizing the power and longevity of the Win emperors, with carvings that represent different aspects of nature and the empire. The Imperial City is just one of those places where you can take your time, wander, and just imagine what life must have been like here at the height of the dynasty. The Koha Garden is a peaceful green space tucked inside the complex with manicured pathways, lotus ponds, and traditional buildings that once served as a private retreat for the royal family. My next stop was the Tien Mu Pagoda, one of the most iconic landmarks in Hue. You can reach it by boat along the Perfume River, but I decided to take a grab instead and enjoy the ride through the surrounding countryside. The pagoda dates back to the 1600s and is famous for its 7-story tower, which has become a symbol of the city. The grounds are beautifully maintained, with lush gardens, ornamental trees, and smaller shrines scattered throughout. Walking through, you get a sense of history and spirituality of the place. It's not just a religious site, it's also steeped in history. This car once belonged to a monk famous for setting himself on fire in Saigon in 1963 in protest of the South Vietnamese government's persecution of Buddhists. I left the pagoda and strolled along the river to Mr. Huang's, a quiet little spot tucked among the rice paddies. It was the perfect place to pause, listen to the wind, and refuel before continuing on. I hopped into another grab ride and made my way to the first of the 2 tombs included with my ticket, the Tu Duc tomb, known for its expansive, beautifully landscaped grounds. The tomb itself is a stunning mix of architecture and nature. Pavilions, ceremonial halls, and courtyards are carefully arranged to reflect harmony, and the intricate details carved into gates, railings, and statues adds to the sense of reverence. Guardian figures and mythical creatures line the paths, quietly watching over the site and reminding visitors of its imperial significance. One of the most striking things about the tomb is how it blends with the landscape. Rolling hills, ornamental ponds, and manicured gardens all work together to create a peaceful atmosphere that encourages slow exploration. Walking through the grounds, it's easy to imagine the ceremonies and daily life of the emperor's court, and the care taken with every detail really brings Hue's imperial history to life. Next, I made my way to the Kiai Ding tomb. The approach itself sets the stage for this elaborate tomb with long staircases lined with statues of soldiers, animals, and mythical creatures leading up to the main complex. Even before you step inside, you get a sense of the grandeur and ambition that went into this tomb. Once inside, it's almost dazzling. The walls and ceilings are covered with intricate mosaics made from glass, porcelain, and ceramic, creating shimmering scenes that tell stories of the emperor's life, battles, and accomplishments. The main hall houses the emperor's sarcophagus, surrounded by elaborate altars and more mosaic work. Outside, terraces offer sweeping views of the surrounding mountains and the city beyond. That evening, Troy was feeling well enough to join me for a visit to Maison Margo, a spot known for its local chocolate and indulgent desserts. We decided on a chocolate tart made fresh just for us. After picking it up, we strolled down to the river to enjoy the sunset and find a spot to enjoy our dessert. The warm glow on the water, the gentle evening air, and that decadent tart made for a simple but perfect moment in Hue. I really wanted a decaf coffee with this amazing looking thing, so we ended up at Starbucks because that's the only place that reliably has it in Hue, where we are. But they told us that if you love chocolate, this is the one to try, and I love chocolate, so here we go. Wow. We watched the sun paint the sky in shades of gold and pink as evening settled in. Our time here felt far too short, but it was such a perfect way to close out our visit, soaking in the colors, the river, and the peaceful atmosphere one last time.